Hi, Ronnie. Thanks for joining me today. Yes,
Hi, how are you, Nancy? Nice to meet
I'm doing
you.
great. Yes, so you're in Porto, Portugal.
I am in Porto right now. Yes,
Fantastic.
beautiful Porto. Yes.
And you just moved there?
I did. I actually I've been to Porto many, many times in the last 2 years, probably 6 or 7 times. And I really found it to be just a magical place. And I always wanted to live in Europe at some point in my life. And at one point, I thought it was going to be France, but then when I visited Portugal, it was a total 360, and I just thought this was the right place. So I am on a journey right now. I'm actually buying a place here and renting a place right now until my place is ready, which won't be until the summer of 27.
Ooh,
So, yes, it's a new construction, so it'll take a while for it to be done, but it's worth the wait. And yeah, it's been great, and I've started to meet people. Actually, I have a foundation of people here I've met, and also I'm doing business here, and
oh,
that's a big part.
wonderful.
That's a big part of why I'm here. Yes,
Right. So you
yes.
love the area. You went 6 or 7 times and it spoke to you, and you're able to meet people and do business. That's fantastic.
Yes, I mean, from a personal and professional perspective, it's been better than I expected, to be
Wow.
honest.
Wow.
Yes, I think that I had the mindset of wanting to move to Europe, and as much as I love New York, but it was just something that just drew me. And so I think when you're ready, when you have that mindset, it's easier for you to make that transition
Hmm.
and meet people and be open to meeting people.
You moved to Porto, and are you originally like a lifetime New Yorker?
I am actually. I've
Oh,
been living in New
wow.
York my whole life. I have family
Wow.
there. I have children
Uh-huh.
there. And yes, it's been my home.
That's a
But
big
now
change.
it's my next phase of life. So,
Yes. Next chapter. Very
but
nice.
but I also feel like I made the move for business reasons as well.
Oh,
Yes, so I'm an agent. I'm a real estate
uh-huh.
agent
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
with Compass in New York.
Right.
And I am doing business here in Portugal right now. I'm starting to build my business here. I started my own business, a personal concierge business for Americans coming to
Oh,
Portugal.
wow. That's
Yes,
great.
helping them just get acclimated, figuring out if they want this to be their home or whether or not they want to vacation here.
Hmm.
And I've started to work with a lot of the agents at Christie's International.
Ah,
And so now I'm doing a lot of sales, and yeah, it's been really great. And I feel like it's sort of like the next phase for me to help Americans who want to invest here and establish a life here.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that you saw the need and that you're positioned to help those people navigate kind of their next chapter.
Yes, I did. I definitely saw that need over a year ago. And I
Mm,
realized that more and more people were wanting to experience being in Europe, and Portugal was starting to rise in terms of people wanting to explore. And it just has an amazing lifestyle here. The way of life is very relaxed, and the people here are amazing. I am learning the language, so that helps.
mm-hmm.
But I do think that it's an experience, and a lot of people are, people are thinking about it. I think a lot of people thought about maybe what would it be like to own a place in Europe or live in Europe maybe a few years ago, but not really making the move. But now I
Right.
see the trend, and a lot of people are making the move. So
Yes,
it's
absolutely. Yeah,
much more active right now.
right. People were
Yes.
more not to say complacent in a bad way, but people were more comfortable in the past and they're like, yeah, someday I'll go to Europe and move there. But
Exactly.
they saw that as a difficult thing and, we're comfortable here. Whereas now people are like, no, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean,
Yeah,
people are less hesitant.
right. That's it. That's the
I
thing.
think also people that are who are retiring are
Hmm.
considering retiring outside of the United States.
Right.
And I think, Portugal is one of those countries that welcomes retirees and people can live comfortably here. I'm not saying that it's cheap. I'm not saying that, oh, you're never going to spend any money here. That's not true. But it is a different way of life. And for people who feel that United States is not where they want to settle, this is a really nice place to be. So, and I really feel good in helping people explore that and realizing that this is where they want to go and this is where they would like to invest in their future. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, especially with your background as being an agent, we always want to have this great next move for people, not just a lateral move or something that's going to not make them happy ultimately. We want to see them happier and, winning on several levels.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I do believe that. And having the experience of helping people find their home in the United States, in New York, translates here as well. And I can really
Right.
help people figure out where they would like to be. I actually do tours for people.
Oh,
So people that
great.
are thinking that they don't know where in Portugal they might want to be, I
Mm-hmm.
give them suggestions. I put an itinerary together for them to come visit. And so they'll see different areas. They'll go to the coastal areas, they'll go inland, they'll be in the north, they'll be in the south. Because Portugal is, it's not a big country, but it's very different. They have different parts, different climates. There are some areas that don't speak any English, and there are some areas that do speak English. So, I think one person who is not familiar with the country needs to kind of explore and see what appeals to them. Some people want to be near water. I mean, preferably
Mm-hmm.
for me, I like to be near water. I'd like to be near the river or the ocean. Some people don't prefer that, and some people want to be inland. Some people like very hot weather, which the
Mm-hmm.
South in the summer is very hot.
I
Very
see.
hot. Yes,
Okay.
the North is more of temperate climate, and I prefer that myself. So there is a difference, and so I think people need to see it for themselves,
Right. Right.
before they commit.
That's right. Because it's not
Yeah.
just, a homogeneous blob.
No,
It's not
no.
Portugal or
It's
Europe. It's,
exactly. It's not Europe. It's not even Portugal.
right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
It's
So when
very,
people
very,
don't know it, yeah, they
people
they
don't
don't
know
know
it.
the difference. Yes. So you
Yeah,
provide tours, and
yes,
that's something people
yeah.
would love to have.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I gauge how long people want to be here. Like I feel, if they want to explore the North and the South, they've got to be here for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, that it
Hmm.
really gives them enough time to figure it out.
Oh, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes, I would say 2 to 3 weeks minimum to really
Hmm.
figure out where they see themselves settling. I feel like a week is too little amount of time to really figure
Right.
that out.
Yeah.
And
And you're still
sometimes it
jet
takes,
lagged.
yes, and sometimes it, right. Sometimes it takes more than one visit. A lot of people come back twice and then they realize where they would like to be. So
Right.
I think that's something that needs to be considered for anybody who is thinking of relocating, to
Right.
really, really do their homework. I think it's very important to do the homework, and I help that's what I do in my business is I help them understand what it is that they need to do to prepare themselves.
That makes sense because you can do a Zoom meeting like what we're doing
Yes,
prior
I
to
do.
them coming and
Right.
give them a list of homework and discuss and plan their trip out.
Yes.
That's great.
As a matter of fact, I have a checklist I send to my potential clients.
Mm,
and they answer the questions. And that way I know really what they're thinking, you know.
right.
So, and also a lot of people are thinking about permanent residency or
Mm,
residency or citizenship. That is also something that a lot of Americans are thinking about, trying to figure out whether they can get citizenship in another country.
right.
There's a lot going on right now in Portugal with citizenship and the requirements and the rules. They're changing a lot of it now. But I can help people if they just want to get a visa, not a tourist visa. So a
Mm,
tourist visa is 90 days, but if you want to spend more time, then you would apply for another kind of visa,
right. Like
you
a
know.
retirement visa or a nomad visa.
Exactly. The
Okay,
retirement visa,
terrific.
the passive income visa, or the digital
Mm,
nomad visa. There's a couple of different ones. There's entrepreneurship visas. There are visas if you start a business. So there's various different ones that people can consider for themselves depending on the type of lifestyle or depending on their family and what they're looking to do.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. And you mentioned you're buying a new construction, which kind
Yes.
of surprised me because most people probably don't even feel like if they're going to move to Europe that they can get a new construction,
Oh, they
right?
can definitely get a new construction.
Wow, that's amazing.
What's happening in Portugal now is a lot of building. They're
Oh,
building
okay.
everywhere. I do believe that the developers understand that there's an influx of people outside
Mm,
of Portugal who would like to invest and buy. It's not just Americans. I mean, there are other
right,
people, there's Spanish, there's Brazilians, there's Polish, there's all kinds of people, like they're all coming to buy, but so they're building a lot.
hmm,
And there is a huge difference between buying a new construction and buying like an old home here. A lot of
right,
people think, oh, it'd be nice to have one of those really amazing, Portuguese tiled old homes, but let me tell you, it's not,
okay,
sometimes it's a little bit of a problem because older places, while they have so much charm, they have no heat, they have no air conditioning.
right,
And the walls are not built to sustain humidity very well. And so they can have problems with mold and things like that in older homes.
right.
So a lot of people choose to go the new construction route because they feel more safe doing that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
especially if you're going there to retire, a lot of people are middle-aged, for example, like,
Yes.
I can
Right.
identify, and they're planning for the future. You might want that romantic older home, but you just don't have the capacity to be doing a lot of remodeling and upgrading and putting in HVAC and all this.
Exactly.
So new construction is great.
It really is. It's a
Yeah.
good choice for older people
Hmm.
or people that just don't want to have to worry about renovation.
Exactly. And
Because
being
when
a foreigner, yeah,
and
you don't
being a
want to be,
foreigner,
yeah,
renovating in a foreign country is not easy. And
no.
so I wouldn't recommend it, but people do it. It's not that they
Uh-huh.
don't do it as
Right.
long as they have good guidance. Like I personally, I know some contractors here who I would
Mm,
recommend,
mm,
but you do have to be careful about that. So,
right.
and I live in I have an old apartment in New York. So for me,
Mm.
coming here, I wanted something new.
Oh, okay. You don't want the same old thing that
No,
you've
I didn't want something
had
old.
before.
Right, I wanted something new and I wanted to be on the water. So,
Mm,
right, so my apartment is overlooking the Douro River in
mm,
between Porto and Gaia.
great. Now, do you look out over vineyards too, or
No,
no?
that's
Okay.
The Douro Valley is where all the vineyards are. That's about
Oh,
an
okay.
hour and a half drive from
Uh-huh.
Porto. I overlook a few of the bridges in Porto, beautiful bridges, and the river and the city. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
And a new construction, what kind of price point would people be looking at?
Right. So it depends on where. The further north you go from Porto, the less expensive it is.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, there's a city that I almost uh, bought a place in.
Hmm.
It's called Viana do Castelo, It's an adorable, charming city. It's actually the third largest city, I believe, in Portugal. It's about 90,000 people live there. It's not yet as much on the immigrant radar as other cities, but it's extremely charming, and it's on the Lima River, which goes into the Atlantic Ocean. And they, because it's north and they're not yet well known, the prices are pretty decent. So I'll give you an example. In a new construction overlooking the river, you have a two-bedroom, 2.5 bath apartment would be facing southeast, let's say facing the mountains, facing the river. Brand new, it would be about between 400 and 450,000 euros for that.
Okay, so about 500,000
About
US.
500,000 US for a
Okay.
1,000 square foot inside and about a 300 square foot deck outside.
Okay, great. So that's in a
Yes.
high rise?
It's not a high rise. It's actually a building that only has 5 floors and a penthouse. So it's really nice.
Oh, okay.
It's a
So
and
about,
it's going to have all these services. So when they build these new construction, they give you a lot of concierge services.
oh, great.
Yeah, that like
Okay.
medical clinics, restaurants, spas, just everything that you could think of that you would need at your fingertips, they
Mm.
have in some
Okay,
of
so
these
you can
areas.
walk to services.
You could walk to
There's a little
services. Yes, you can.
community type of
Yes,
thing.
you don't need a
Mm-hmm.
car. You don't need a car in the
Oh,
city.
nice. Right.
So it saves you money there.
Yep.
Um, so something like that in Porto would be close to probably 600,000 euros, maybe a
Okay.
little more, between six and seven, and maybe a little bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
around there. So there is a difference depending on where you are. Lisbon and Porto are probably the two most expensive cities in Portugal to buy. And
Right.
the Algarve. I mean, the Algarve in the south is very expensive too, but in terms of the cities, they're the most expensive.
Okay. So a little bit outside of, Porto and Lisbon, you can get something for
You
about
can,
500,000
yes,
US, new
yes,
construction, two bedroom, 2.5 bath in a
yes.
low rise type of building that's brand
Mhm,
new, which is pretty
mhm.
appealing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
And then
is.
if you want right in Porto or Lisbon, you're looking at a little bit more, maybe 100,000 to
Yeah, yeah,
150,000 more. Hmm.
I would say. I mean, um, there are certainly some apartments where you could spend less money in Porto. It just depends on the location and where it is.
Right, right.
You may
Okay,
not
great.
you may not have a water view. You may not be on a high floor, things like that.
Right, right.
So
Excellent.
there is a range. Yes, there
Yeah,
is a
sounds
range.
like there's a lot of options because the country is building.
Yes.
So it's not like a shortage of homes at this time.
No, the inventory is here.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that if someone were to come to visit, they would find a lot of choices,
Right.
a lot of good choices here. And
More so.
yeah, and also I was just going to add that, there are a lot of really beautiful places to live in the inner cities, like
Mm,
Braga.
mhm.
Braga is really nice, and Coimbra is nice. I mean, there are a lot of different places. You don't have to be on the water. I
Right.
mean, the inner cities are very nice too. They get a little bit
Mhm.
hotter in the summer because they're not on the water, but they're also very nice.
Very
And
good.
yeah, so there's a lot of, and
Wonderful.
I have a lot of, I know a lot of people who are buying in the south of Lisbon. So 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes south of Lisbon is also very popular.
Very nice. Yeah. So would you say there's more inventory in Portugal than, say, if somebody wanted to move to France or Italy?
I would I think there's more inventory here than in France for sure.
Hmm.
Paris is tough, the city in terms of
Hmm.
buying. I mean, I know people who live there and have bought there. It's not easy to buy in Paris. Um, I don't I don't know much about Italy, but I do know that if in terms of like expats and immigrants, like Italy is not as high on the list. It's really more Portugal, France, Greece, uh, Germany a little bit.
Hmm.
Italy is kind of like sort of in the middle, I think.
Hmm. I see.
Yeah, it hasn't been as popular, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and Spain is a big one.
Right. Spain
Yes,
is also popular.
yes, Spain is very
Fantastic.
popular. Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
they all
So,
have different. They all, first of all, they all have different requirements in terms of visas. That's something that
right.
everyone should know. The cost of living is different in every country. It's not
Hmm.
all the same. Some countries have imp taxes that other countries don't have. So
Hmm.
there's a lot that someone would need to look into and get educated on, what would make sense for them financially in terms of
Right.
investing in one of these countries because they are so different.
Yeah. I can imagine in the future, all of these countries will have somebody like yourself to kind of guide them in terms
Well,
of,
one should hope.
being yeah, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean
people
that's
can,
yes, yes. And so I'm working also so the another thing that I'm doing, which I think people have a misconception about, is I also help people with the golden visa.
oh, okay.
So the golden visa was implemented a while ago in Portugal specifically. When you were able to buy a property for €500,000, you will automatically be allowed for citizenship, right? You would just go through the process and you would get citizenship. That has been done away with in terms of purchasing property. That was in 2024. Now you can get a golden visa, but you have to invest. So
Okay.
there are companies out there, there are private funds where you can
Mhm.
invest the €500,000 and you can get on the trajectory to get citizenship. So that's the way that it works right now. So it is still going on, and I work with a few companies directly that
Yep.
do golden visa processing for immigrants.
Very nice.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, if somebody wants to engage your services and hire you as their personal concierge for Portugal and
Yep.
potentially arrange a trip and get a tour, what's the best way for them to do that?
So I would suggest the first thing that they do is reach out to me on my email
Hmm.
and that we would start the conversation on email and then my process is that I would speak to them on the phone. I give them a consultation on the phone, and then
Hmm.
I send them a checklist to give me information about them. At that point, if they feel that they want to continue with me, I can send them a proposal for all the services that I provide with the
Hmm.
cost of the services. And we can go from there and see whether that's something that they would like to do. Part of my service is with purchasing a property, and the other part is without purchasing a property. So if
Perfect.
if they wanted to, so because a lot of people will start here and they'll rent first,
Right.
okay, before they buy. A lot of people will
Yeah.
do that.
Hmm.
But so I can help them with everything up to the point where they get their rental without the sale. So it's just everything, but besides that, that would be a different cost than having them go through the process of finding a place to live because that's more work,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, makes total sense because a lot of
Yeah,
people just want to explore first. They don't know if they're going to
exactly.
settle there, but you
Right.
can provide them that assistance. Excellent.
Yes.
Do you have a
Yes.
website
I
or?
do. I
Oh, okay.
do.
What's your website so I can share
It's
it?
yes, it's lifestyleabroadllc.com. So it's www.lifestyleabroad, all one word, llc.com.
LLC.com. Okay,
And it's in
terrific.
the process, yes, and I'm in the process of updating that now. Hopefully, I want to start feeding in properties that I'm working on into my website. So that'll be something
Wonderful.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
something
and I
I'm
heard
hoping to
there's
do
no
in the future.
MLS, no multiple listing service in Portugal, but maybe in the future there will be.
Well, I will tell you that there are some people who are working on that.
Okay. And
They
it makes
want to bring
sense,
the
right?
MLS. It's not an easy thing to do.
It
It's
isn't.
not. No,
Oh,
it isn't.
okay.
But I
Yeah,
think, yeah, it's a little bit, it's a very different real estate environment here than what people are used to in America. So yeah,
right.
yeah.
I can
And,
imagine.
and
Yeah.
they do need someone to help them guide. Like it's really virtually impossible for you to do it yourself,
Yeah,
you
when
know.
I've spoken to Americans who have moved to other countries like Japan or, you know, anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
most places sound like they don't have a multiple listing service,
No. Yeah.
right?
I know.
And
They
it's
don't.
like it's like kind of an industry that's more, you have to be on the inside,
Yes, I think
right?
that's true.
Yeah,
That is
with
very
different
true.
customs and different ways you make offers. And,
Yes.
the process of negotiation is different from what we're used to in the US.
Oh, for sure. And they don't
Yeah.
have exclusivity here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
No
it's a
listing
really kind of a
agreements?
it's kind of a strange thing. They have listing agreements, but it's not exactly other other agents can market your properties. It's a little
Oh,
bit, yeah, it's a little bit of the Wild West in a way.
it does sound like the Wild West.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a little,
yeah,
well, from what we are used to in the
right.
States, I would
That's
say.
right.
It's
Yes.
not that it's not navigable. It is. It's doable,
Okay.
but it's just different. It's just a different,
Different.
yeah, it's just different.
Exactly. Yeah, I heard, every country does it differently. Some
Yes.
countries have auctions like Australia and
Oh,
other,
yeah, right.
yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it is. So it's different, just like anything else. And France is different also. I mean, it's just a different way of doing real estate business, but you
Right.
just sort of have to have someone guide you,
Yes.
and make sure
It
that they, yeah.
underlines the importance of having a guide like yourself. Well,
Yes,
great. I'll end with what's the best email for people who are watching this to reach you at if they'd like more
sure.
information?
Okay, it's Ronnie, Ronnie, at lifestyleabroadllc.com.
Oh, okay. Ronnie at lifestyleabroadllc.com.
That's
Wonderful.
it. Yeah.
Yes, it's been such a pleasure to chat
Thank
with you,
you.
Ronnie.
Muito
And
prazer.
yes,
Yes,
yes, we'll have to get together in person very
we
soon.
will. I hope so. Thank you so much. This has
Great.
been
Oh, you're
great.
welcome.